Today, we went for our first run in the Atreyu Voyagers. If this is your first time on the channel, my name is Brendon and I am a non-elite runner who loves to buy a bunch of shoes, take them back in here and talk to you fine folks about them. Today we have something very special. We have the Atreyu Voyagers, and for those of you that have not heard of Atreyu, that's totally fine. They're a brand new company. They're shaking up the running shoe game with a subscription model. These shoes right here were 55 bucks. So let's talk about what $55 can get you, starting off with the quick spec rundown. Oh, and by the way, we have some special expert help to come in for our upper and our midsole today. It's pretty exciting stuff. So this has a 21.5 millimeter stack height in the heel, 15.5 millimeter in the forefoot. Pretty low stack height for me personally. I love the higher stack height shoes, but you know what? I like throwing it up, changing it up a bit every now and then, so I'm fine with that. Now, this is where the money is. The weight of this shoe for my size 10.5 US men's, comes in at 187 grams or 6.5 ounces, boys and girls. That's what I'm talking about. That is super lightweight, the lightest shoe I've ever had on my foot. Now, I did go true to size in this, 10.5 US, fit perfectly. That's all the specs I'm gonna give you because there's a lot of that information online. I don't wanna waste your time. Let's throw it over to our upper expert to see what he has to say about the upper. I've waited so long to get my hands on this Voyager. Okay, yeah. It has the pull tab in the back. Oh my God, yes, we love the pull tab. I'm sorry, I did not see you there. My name is Minimus Vaporweave. I am an expert in all things upper construction of the running shoe. Now, yes, Brendon did send me the Atreyu running shoe, and I have to say, I have some thoughts. So let's go through the upper and I'll explain to you what's going on here and give you some of my detailed thoughts from an expert such as myself. I've designed such things as the Nike Vaporweave, all that good stuff comes from the mind of Minimus Vaporweave. You're in for a treat. Now, the upper on the Atreyu running shoe is just one piece of material, but let's break it down section by section, starting back at the heel counter, and well, there's essentially no heel counter. It's extremely malleable. You can break that sucker down like it's nothing. So if you do prefer a shoe that has a bit more of structure to the heel counter, you're gonna have to look the other way. We have many other shoes on the market that has more structure through the heel, so don't worry, there's a shoe out there for you. But I will say, I'm gonna have to start adding these into my own designs. The heel tab here, perfect, can fit the finger just perfect, 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 perfect. Have I said perfect? It is. So moving on to the ankle collar here, has a good amount of padding, and what I found that did was help me stay locked down so my foot wasn't slip sliding around. Very nice padding around the ankle collar. I'll give that another check mark. Moving on to the tongue. Now the tongue has a bit of padding. You know what? I'd have to argue that it's the perfect amount of padding. I'm gonna have to make a note of that. Tongue padding. Yep. So that's noted for my next design here. Thank you, Atreyu, for giving me some pointers for my own designs here. So moving on for the rest of the upper, like I said, it's that one piece of material. It's extremely lightweight and breathable. The upper is essentially non-existent. If you have worn a racing shoe, the upper feels just like that. It's extremely malleable. I really like that word because it makes me sound smart, and as you can tell, I'm wearing cool glasses, so I am smart. They do have a little bit of reinforcements here, and what those reinforcements are is essentially just hard rubber. And I think all it's meant to do is just keep the shape of the upper a bit. I'll do some more research and get back to you on that one in our later reviews of this shoe. And you know what? My favorite thing about this upper is the detail here. The battle lies within, because there's definitely some battles going on from within my head here. Anyway, let's throw it back to Brendon so he can throw it to our expert in midsoles to give you guys the inside scoop of what's going on down here. Thank you so much for the breakdown, Minimus. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Now, let's throw it over to Clarence for the breakdown on the midsole. The midsole is here. Put the barometer scales pretty, since it's not soft. Single slab EVA. Sorry to keep you waiting. My name is Clarence P. Maximus and I am a midsole expert. Brendon sent me over this Atreyu Voyager to analyze the midsole, and I have some thoughts for you folks. So this is a single slab of EVA foam. Nothing crazy, no DNA flash material, which is nitrogen infused, or Pebax material like is used in some racing shoes. Just a slab of EVA foam, and it does the trick. What I will say though is when you're first getting out there, it's gonna be firm. It takes a little bit for it to open up, but once it does open up, it feels like money, it feels great, it just disappears on your foot. There are some interesting things about this midsole I want to point out. On either side of the shoe, the medial and lateral side, there is a little bit of a flare-out. And what that helps with is some stability. Not a stability shoe, but it makes it so you're not leaning over on either side. Just gives you a little bit more of a stable ride. Something I really appreciate it. It does have a curvature up here towards the forefoot, so you're rolling through the gait cycle. Just, you're landing and rolling. It's pretty great. But there's one thing. It tells me to strike here. I don't want to be told what to do by my shoe, so I'm not going to strike there. I'm going to strike on my heel, just to spite you. Even though that would be a good idea to strike there. But overall, the midsole, guys, it's nothing crazy special, but for 55 bucks, it does the trick. No complaints about it so far. Although there's one thing I will point out is the durability may not be there. They suggest 100 to 150 miles for this shoe. So we're gonna have to come back to that after we reach that point and tell you guys a little bit of an update. But for now, I'm gonna keep on analyzing this midsole. Let's throw it back to Brendon to give you some more thoughts on the shoe. Man, Clarence and Minimus are some weird guys, I have to say, but they know their stuff, so that's why I keep on sending the shoes over to them for analysis. I'm gonna talk to you about the ride feel a little bit now. So the midsole takes a little bit to warm up, like Clarence was saying. It took about 2 kilometers for me until I got into a rhythm and the midsole really opened up. Guys, I will say that I was kind of nervous for those first couple of kilometers. It felt very stiff and firm, and I don't get on well with shoes like that. So I was ready to call it in and throw in the towel, but I heard online from like Fod Runner and those type of good guys that it did take a little while for them to open up. So I decided to stick on through, and am I ever glad I did? Because at that kilometer 3 marker and on, the shoe felt like absolute money. Going through the gait cycle was super smooth. I tried to explain this on previous shoes, but it just feels like your toe is going through extremely smooth like butter. Now, it's not like a speed roll technology like I'm getting in the Endorphin Pro and the Endorphin Speed, and even the Brooks Hyperion Elite 2 has that type of technology. It's nothing like that. It just feels like the gait cycle's smooth. I don't know how else to explain it. The midsole never was super squishy, but I guess you're not really expecting it from a shoe of this type, which we're gonna get into how I'm gonna use the shoe, but spoiler alert, I think this shoe would fit perfectly for a tempo day, and you don't really want a squishy shoe for your tempo day. I don't anyway. Overall, the ride feel felt pretty good, like nothing mind-blowing, but for $55, would you expect it to be mind-blowing? No, it just gets the job done, and for 55 bucks, not too bad. Now I will say it's $55 only if you get the subscription model. It is $85 if you're buying a one-off shoe, so gotta consider that as well. Because these shoes apparently will only last like 100 to 150 miles is what they're saying on the website. So the cost per mile is kind of high if you buy it at that $85 price point. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes here, but let's move on to the next section, and that's the comfort. So the upper is extremely comfortable. I absolutely love the upper. It's very lightweight, minimal design. Now I will say for my daily trainers, I do like a more of a built up plush upper. But for tempo day shoes, like I said, I'm gonna use this for, I think it's fantastic. It's very reminiscent of like the Saucony Endorphin Pro upper actually, if I have to draw any comparison. Very malleable, I'm liking that word today. Very breathable. The comfort of the midsole, it's not the most comfortable midsole, but like I said, it's a tempo day shoe, so I didn't expect it to be extremely plush and gushy like in the Clifton 7 lineups, for example. But overall, I have no complaints in terms of comfort. It fits great. The midsole feels good for what I'm gonna use it for, tempo days. Ground contact feels there, so if you don't like that, maybe don't get it. You might find it uncomfortable in that regard, but overall, comfort's pretty good. Let's move on to what I like and what I dislike. What I like, obviously, the weight of this. The weight of this is absolutely insane. 187 grams, are you kidding me? That's insane, wow. But of course, there has to be some sort of dislikes, right? Like this shoe isn't perfect by any means. This is not the best shoe that I've ever worn, so there has to be some sort of dislikes. And what I'm disliking so far is it's showing some wear already on the outside heel here. And I guess that's kind of expected with EVA-based midsoles. Like the Hoka Rincon, same deal. It's just a slab of EVA foam and that outsole gets torn apart. But the resilience of the actual midsole itself will last longer than the outsole, I guess. So another thing is, along the same lines, I'm kind of worried about the durability of the whole package, but we're gonna have to wait and see how long it actually lasts. But that's kind of what I'm thinking in terms of dislikes right now, is just the overall durability of the shoe. Now, we have to keep in mind that this is their first attempt at a running shoe, and guys, for their first attempt, I think they're doing pretty dang good. But if I had to give them some advice, what would I say? I think that they should add a gusseted tongue. You know how much I love gusseted tongues. What I find that helps with is a lot of lockdown. Like it's pretty great for lockdown feel. Another thing is heel counter. I know they've said in interviews recently that they don't want to change anything about their upper, but why not just have a certain lineup of your shoes that have a little bit more of a built-up heel counter for people like me that want that little bit more support. And honestly, I find having a built-up heel counter helps with lockdown. Although the lockdown in this shoe wasn't too bad today, I have to say. So overall, guys, I'm gonna use this shoe for a tempo day, and for 55 bucks, I don't think you can go wrong. If you want to pick it up, I'll leave a link to the website down below. It's not an affiliate link or anything like that. I bought these with my own shoes. I don't have any interaction with the running shoe company. I'm just gonna leave the link down there in case you guys like what you saw today. Okay, thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, all that good stuff to support the channel, and I will catch you on the next one. See ya later.